Hi, my name is Pablo Zabaleta and I welcome you to this video where we will be covering Chapter 14, Material Requirements Planning MRP from the Heizer and Render book. Let's start, as always, with our outline. This is a very extensive outline where we will be covering several things. It's ranging from what is MRP, Materials Requirement Planning, to how do we check how we produce something, what type of information. It all revolves around the types of information that we need in order to have an MRP working system. So first, what is MRP? Okay, it stands for Material Requirements Planning, but some people also like to use Materials Resources Planning. It all boils down to what resources do we need to operate and produce our product or service. But before we delve deeper into that, let's start by defining very clearly for our viewers what is the difference between the push and the pull processes. In the push process, the execution is performed in anticipation of an order. We don't know yet what the order will be, but we have forecasted it. It depends on probabilities. It's very proactive in the sense that we are based on a projected need or demand, and we're working for it before this happens. In contrast to the push process, we have the pull process. Here the execution is performed in response to an order. Here we know what it is, it's deterministic, and it's reactive. We have received an order and we need to answer to it. Also, another term that you need to know is the push-pull boundary. That is, where the push processes are separated from the pull processes. This might sound a little bit odd, so let's start by, for example, and I'm using here some material from the from a course that MIT has given and is given. I would highly recommend all the series of the courses in the MicroMasters in Supply Chain Management. This is one graphic that I'm using from them only for educational purposes. Let's say that it is a company that produces sandwiches. You can have a ready-made turkey wrap where the customer just goes into the shop, grabs the turkey wrap, pays for it, and away it goes. Here we have to buy the raw materials, we have to prepare the components, we have to make the final assembly, and the customer comes in. Let's say the pull happens only when the customer buys it. Let's say that we have a signature ham sandwich. In this case, we buy the raw materials, we prepare the components, we cut the bread, we prepare everything, but we only assemble it when the customer asks and says, I want a turkey ham sandwich. Or, for example, the customer might come in and say, I want a huge sandwich. Okay, then we have bought all the raw materials, but we don't prepare this sandwich until the customer wants, and then we finally prepare the components, the final assembly. So how are all these three known throughout industry? Well, the first one is what is called make to stock. That is, we prepare something and we have an inventory of finished product waiting for our customer to arrive. The second one is make to order. That is, when the customer arrives and places the order, then we produce the final assembly. The final assembly, check out here, as you can see, only happens by the order, when the order is received, not before. So here in the first case, the order is give me the sandwich that's already been made. Here the order says I want to buy, but I want it done this way. That's a make to order. As you can see, the pull part of the process has moved towards the left. And we have finally the engineer to order, this huge sandwich, in which case all the pull boundary has moved. This black part is what we call the push-pull boundary, or the push-pull point. Our lesson will continue in the next video.